10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A very warm welcome and good evening to all. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Meeni Shiv, Director Content and Creativity of Parent Pharmacy Federation, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar on Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic on Job Sector in India, Day 2 of the OPFiCON 6th International Web Conference organized by Parent Pharmacy Federation. Before we start, please be sure to send all your questions or queries via the chat box. They will be answered at the end during the Q&A section. Yesterday, we had also organized a webinar on the topic Personality Development for Pharmaceutical Professionals, covered by Dr. Zareen Dilawar Hussain, CEO Integro Pharma Limited, Bangladesh, and Dr. V. Gopal, Principal College of Pharmacy, Pondicherry, as they thoroughly explained the key characteristics and personalities one must develop in a pharmaceutical industry. The inspiring stories and personal experiences enlightened us to a great deal as they cleared all our questions and wisely spoke on the aspects and values of pharmaceutical professionals. Now, I'd like to request Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, founder and director of OPF, to initiate with the inauguration of today's webinar.
Very warm good evening to all and welcome you all to track second of the OPFiCON International Web Conference. I will heartily welcome Dr. Sanjay Agrawal, founder, Pharma consultant and Inventors, and I also heartily welcome Mr. Deepak Parab, CEO and MD, Metrohm India Pvt. I also welcome all the attendees from the different institutions of the pharmaceutical profession across the globe. Over to Minusi.
So we will now begin with the session. First, today we have amongst us Dr. Sanjay Agrawal, leading pharma consultant and investor, to talk to us about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on job sector in India. Dr. Sanjay Agrawal is a leading independent researcher, pharmaceutical consultant, and patent holder of more than 40 molecules. He has actively worked in pharmaceutical and related industries for more than 28 years and started his firm, Pharmaceutical Consultants and Inventor, in 2005. Skilled in formulation development of solid orals, liquids, multi-particulars, nutraceuticals, and food products. Developed and commercialized novel, adaptable, and patentable platform technologies for various dosage forms. Dr. Agrawal obtained his post-graduation in biochemistry from prestigious institution, completed MBBS and MBA from IMT. He is editor-in-chief of renowned IGM Today and honorable member of the editorial board of the Antiseptic and Qual Pharma magazine. He has published more than 60 papers in reputed national and international magazines. Dr. Agrawal is meticulous, a keen observer, and ultimate performer. Dr. Sanjay Agrawal is also the illustrious member of the National Geographic Society and member of Scientific Committee of IDMA. Dr. Agrawal had received various awards for his valuable support and contributions in healthcare and pharmaceutical sector. He has worked with many international and national pharmaceutical companies. Dr. Agrawal, pharmaceutical consultants and inventor. The firm works with diverse base of companies across the globe. It supports food, pharma, and nutraceutical industries by consulting in regulatory work, providing unique molecules, and helping firms in creating brand image. Dr. Agrawal is associated with many colleges and institutions and believes in the initiative in bridging the gap between academics and industry. We welcome you, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Namaskar. I'm highly thankful to Operant Pharmacy Federation and Fuel Pharma, especially to Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, who has invited me again as a speaker on an interesting subject. And I welcome to viewers, participants, and different institutions, those who have come and joined our the today's session. Uh, Thanks a lot once again.
So, Dr. Agrawal, there has been a lot of loss of jobs at an alarming rate as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, leading to one of the worst episodes of economic decline and inequality. So, I wanted to ask, like, what is the impact of coronavirus specifically on the pharmaceutical sector?
Thank you very much. Very interesting and very relevant today. As such, there is a great impact on pharmaceutical sector. The pharmaceutical sector, though being a valuable sector at present, the coronavirus health crisis is facing tough threats and challenges for doing its business activity. As the novel coronavirus continues to spread across the countries, concern about potential for disruption to the manufacture and distribution of pharmaceutical products has intensified. The government is recommending measures and steps to keep the situation under control and is considered many methods of to encourage domestic manufacturing of pharmaceutical raw material for formulations by creating a suitable ecosystem in the country. Despite a nationwide lockdown that disrupted the distribution of the drug across the country and fresh prescription generation, and pharmaceutical sales in May 2020 registered an 8.9% growth. Was a primary on account of panic buying of medicine in the chronic disease categories. According to reports, respiratory therapy drugs witnessed the highest sales across the country in May 2020 compared to April 2020, recording a growth of nearly 25%. This was due to coronavirus epidemic and despite a nationwide lockdown that disrupted distribution of drugs and prescription medicine. The cardiac therapy drugs witnessed a 19.8% growth in May 2020 compared to the 11% in April 2020. Anti-diabetic therapy also increased a strong growth of 18.2% in May 2020 and compared to 11% in April 2020. With the coronavirus outbreak, sales of respiratory medicine also witnessed a spike nearly 23%. On the other hand, segments such as dermatology, gastrointestinal, pain and analgesics, and vaccine categories showed a decline in sales during the same period of time. Some therapy areas that are driven primarily by fresh prescriptions like dermatology, gynecology, vaccines have seen a decline in sales. There's some other chronic therapies such as gastrointestinal, pain and analgesic and vitamins have seen single digit growth. Coronavirus outbreak and spreading have started to hit pharmaceutical sector of the country by rising the prices of key ingredients. Now, the prices of vitamins and penicillin are double the price. The price of paracetamol has gone up. Another major impact is that the pharmaceutical company faces disruption due to extended factory closures. If the pandemic continue, the risk of piles of pharmaceutical raw material, and other chemical may decrease, resulting in shortages. The government should take appropriate measure immediately to keep the situation under control. China supplies many of the critical intermediates and pharmaceutical raw material, including high burden disease categories such as cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and tuberculosis. There are also listed in the national list of essential medicine. In fact, the current list is national list of essential medicine. In fact, the current market is largely dependent on China for antibiotic active pharmaceutical ingredient manufactured by fermentation route, such as penicillin, cephalosporins, and macrolides. Indian drug manufacturing rely heavily on import of their active pharmaceutical ingredient from China. As a result of lockdown and closures, slowed production of active pharmaceutical ingredient resulted in less availability and high cost of material required for generic drug production. As per the current report, the prices of vitamins and penicillin have been hiked enormously.
And so, what are the initiatives or support schemes which have been taken by the government to alleviate the situation?
Thanks a lot. Again, it is a quite interesting. There is a lot of initiative government has taken. We'll try to explain uh, that the India government is encouraging startup companies for production of pharmaceutical raw material such as API, additives, fillers, etc., to make the economic self-reliant, reduce over dependency on China. Also, multiple non-pharma and non-healthcare entrepreneur would enter this sector and invest in manufacturing active pharmaceutical ingredient, generic drugs, medical equipments, and wearables. It is the right time for Indian medical startups to make wonders in global healthcare arena. Aiming of self-reliant, the government has come out with draft guideline of rupees 6,940 crore production linked incentive scheme for the promotion of domestic manufacturing of identified critical key starting material, drug intermediates, and active pharmaceutical ingredient in the country. The guidelines were prepared by the Technical Expert Committee headed by Joint Drug Controller DCSCO constituted by Department of Pharmaceutical DOP on April 17, 2020 after the detailed consultation with the industry, experts, and other relevant stakeholders. The objective of the farmers' production linked incentive scheme is to reduce import dependency and boost the domestic production of world drugs. Currently, India import about 70% of the active pharmaceutical ingredient by value from China. The import of active pharmaceutical ingredient has risen at change average growth rate of 8.3%, which is very high. From 2012 to 2019, an API import reached above rupees 249 billion in 2019, according to reports. From 41 eligible products for production linked incentive scheme, there are 4 fermentation based key starting material, drug intermediates, 10 fermentation based key starting material, drug intermediates, API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, 4 chemical synthetic based key starting material, drug intermediates with backward integration, and 32 chemical synthesis based key starting material, drug intermediates with backward integration. Rupees 20 crore is threshold investment for 23 chemical synthesis based key starting material, drug intermediates, these including meropenem, atorvastatin, olmesartan, valsartan, losartan, levofloxacin, sulfadizine, ciprofloxacin, ofloxacin, norfloxacin, artesunate, telmisartan, aspirin, diclofenac sodium, carbidopa, acyclovir, carbamazepine, and oxcarbazepine. Vitamin B6, levodopa, ritonavir, and lopinavir. The 10 fermentation-based rhesus key starting material drug intermediates API are such as neomycin, gentamicin, betamethasone, dexamethasone, prednisolone, rifampicin, vitamin B1, clindamycin phosphate, clindamycin hydrochloride, streptomycin, tetracycline, oxytetracycline, and doxycycline. As per the draft guideline issued by the government, it should be a greenfield project. It's a green field, not a brown field. And the threshold investment range from rupees 20 crore to 400 crore as per the project. The investment made for the purchase of land shall not be considered. It will not be considered as the threshold investment. Building plant and machinery may constitute about 45% threshold investment. Startup companies or applicants need to make threshold investment to manufacture the eligible product, they post approval to make themselves eligible for the scheme. There is no upper limit cap on investment. They start up using novel technology such as flow chemistry or continuous manufacturing known for safety, low environment and solvent burden, biocatalyst, novel enzyme, substitution of novel metals with cheaper metals, green chemistry, zero discharge or low polluting technology within the process recovery will be given preference. In a brief, the incentive which are declared by the Department of Pharmaceutical DOP along with the ministry, they said they have given the incentive of 10,000 crore, that is for 3 years. And it will be based on the production incentive, linked incentive, depends on your production. And this is only to boost the domestic industry, not to the export industry. And whatever you are going to produce, you have to consume in India, in domestic market, and especially on active pharmaceutical ingredients, API, not on the finished goods. And they have talked about the greenfield plant, not the brown. And greenfield plant means the land is not incorporated in a project. Land you have to buy, and the other you have to take, you will get the benefit of the incentive, but not on the land, which is the most expensive. And 53 crucial APIs which they have registered in this project, that is anti-tubercular drug, steroids, and vitamin, etc. And rupees 7720 crores, 720 crores they have used for crucial fermentation products, including penicillin G, aminocephalosporin acid, and macrolides. And with the specific clause, that clause is there, that incentive on fermentation based technology, you have to invest 200 crore to 500 crore. I think this incentive is not practical. It is very difficult that our Indian industry will get something from this policy. Hardly very less people, hardly. I think 1 or 2% of my pharmaceutical people, they will achieve or they will able to avail this facility which Government of India or Department of Pharmaceutical has announced. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for sharing such vital and factual information with us. I had another question in terms of what are the various clinical preventions or precautions one must adhere and follow once the lockdown has been taken or this episode of coronavirus closes.
Yeah, in fact, after the lockdown, the lot of prevention and precaution has to be taken care. There are certain are very common during the lockdown, common after the lockdown also. The most important is our maintain the positivity. I always emphasize, always, that we should not watch TV. We should not go for the WhatsApp. No breaking news. They are not breaking, they are breaking our life, because they are all fabricated figure which you see on the TV, fabricated, not matching at all. And when you see such a big figure, even we don't validate our WHO figure also, or fabricated, because there is no instrument. How you will judge the patient number of patients, how you will monitor. We do not have a such instruments and guidelines with us. So as soon as you will see such fabricated figures, you will come under the depression. As soon as you come under the depression, we have a hormone, cortisol. It will release by our body, and ultimately you will lose your body immunity immediately. There is another point, that coronavirus is already in our body. Everybody has, like tuberculosis. We all have a mycobacterium tuberculosis in our body, but we are not the patient of tuberculosis because our body immunity is enhanced. We are dominating on the mycobacterium tubercular. Similarly, in coronavirus, if their body immunity is enhanced, you are competent, you will never suffer. But as soon as your body immunity will down, the coronavirus will dominate on you and you will suffer. Number two, you should not plan for international trip at least for 2 years. Number three, the most important, you should not go out for the eating at least for 1 year to maintain your better body immunity. Do not attend the marriages at least for 6 months. No ceremony where the crowd is there. Avoid to visit crowded place. Maintain the distance if it is necessary. No visit until and unless there is emergency. We always say that those are less than 40 years, 45 years, they can go with the precaution. But those are more than 50 years, because after 50 years, looking toward lifestyle, lot of complications are there, diabetic, hypertensive, certain cardiovascular, or maybe carcinoma. So your body immunity is not there. So once you will go, definitely you can suffer. But youngsters should go out. They should not sit in home. Otherwise, lot of unemployment will be there. But they go with the precaution. Use sanitizer regularly. And there is a specific sanitizers. It's not a commercial. The sanitizer should have 62% alcohol. When you use the sanitizer, you should know proper application. It should not fall on your dress because it has alcohol. And as soon as you come nearby to fire, I think it can be damage your cloth or your life. Those are suffering with the cough, sneezing. You have to maintain the distance for such patients or people. Mask regularly. Use mask. It is it's essential when you go out. But when you are at home, do not use your mask. Do not use, because when you use mask at home, you will be respiratory distress will be there, the breathing difficulty. And when you are under AC, air condition, please do not use it. I remember in afternoon, one of the person has criticized about the Delhi CM because he has not used properly mask. As such, when you are in air condition, in that duration, for proper breathing, the mask should not be used. Mask is when you are away, because this coronavirus is not contagious disease. It is a viral, not infectious. So until and unless, and number two, the coronavirus, the size of the virus is 500 micron, big size, which will not flow more than 1 meter. It will drop up to 1 meter. So distancing is enough. And when you are at home, there no need. Use complete vegetarian, no non-veg, no cigarette, and no alcohol, because they reduces your body immunity. Do not go to cinema halls for popcorn and popsicle. Especially use citrus fruits Use as much as you can use lemon, at least 4 to 5 times in a day, with the hot water, vitamin C, zinc, and calcium. It is all proven. Zinc is very important for us today because zinc suppresses the enzyme which is in the virus. We call it as a RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So this RNA dependent RNA polymerase, it is responsible for making for the virus. So as soon as you take the zinc will subside this virus. It will inhibit this virus. Ultimately, the protein will not synthesize in the virus, and the virus will have a virucidal action. So you can prevent your body. So when you take the zinc amount should be not less than 15 milligram. And when you take vitamin C tablet, it should be 1000 milligram, 500 milligram twice in a day. No barbers or beauty parlors until and unless it is essential. If you are going to barber shop or beauty parlor, go with the mask. Person is not having the mask, ask him to wear the mask when he is doing something for you. No painkiller tablets, because with the painkiller, lot of complications are there. One complication, it will subside your symptoms. Unfortunately, if you are suffering and you have taken the painkiller or antipyretic tablets, the fever will not come. It will subside. How we will recognize? So these tablets are not used. Use hot water whenever it is available. So when you take the hot water, the coronavirus will not sustain. Unfortunately, it has already gone to throat. Once you take the hot water, it will be out from your body. So whenever you feel, you always go for the hot water. The cold is not advisable at all. Keep yourself away from the freeze. Even whatever you take commodity use from the room temperature, not on the freeze. Wear face shield when you're going out. Please do not spew, which is very dirty, especially in this season. No casual sneezing. Some people they do, which is very bad because we do not know. We are already having the coronavirus, and it will go to the person who has a low body immunity. Probably he can suffer. Then frequent hand washing. Hand washing has to be regular. If you do not have a sanitizer, you can use only soap. Soap is because it is not a bacterial infection, it is a viral infection. So soap, we want to discontinue the attachment of the virus from your hand or from your skin. So soap is enough. But after at least for 2 hours, keep on washing your hands. Maybe you are at home. No handshaking, hug, kisses, even the friends, relatives, kith and kins, which is important. Namaskar is the best all over the world. I think our tradition has become more popular. No outside food, as I mentioned, no tea. We should talk less. As much as we talk, I think our body immunity will decline. Internal protection is most important, very important, as compared to external protection, because protection is not 100% foolproof. We cannot prove. There is no evidence. So the internal protection nothing but keeping our immunity system up. It is a only basic requirement for the health life. A stronger immunity system, healthier the life. So today's month, you keep your body immunity up by using the citrus fruit, vitamin C, zinc, and calcium. They are evidence based. A lot of clinical studies have been conducted, and they all favor these ingredients to maintain your body immunity. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for clearly explaining and making us aware of the current scenario of the job sector of our country and sharing with us all the safety and healthy precautions one must take. So, now let's move on ahead with the second speaker of today's session, Mr. Deepak Parab. Mr. Deepak Parab did his graduate in chemistry and postgraduate diploma in computer science and is currently working as managing director and CEO at Metrohm India Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of Metrohm AG Switzerland. He's also a founder director and member of the board of directors of another Metrohm AG subsidiary in India, Omic Research India Private Limited, which is primarily engaged in design and development of new analytical instruments. Since 2010, he is also a member of the board of directors of Metrohm Middle East, which is based out of UAE. He was also a member of the board of directors of Eppendorf India Limited from January 2010 to January 2014. He is also appointed as Vice President, Swiss India Chamber of Commerce since January 2018. For the years 2015 to 17, he was Secretary, India Analytical Instrument Association, and has worked at various positions in academic institutes such as IIT Bombay and industries, including Geochem Laboratories, Cochrane Pharmaceuticals, and Metrochem Industries, before switching over to sales and marketing profession in 1995. Since 1999, he has been associated with Metrohm India and was promoted as MD and CEO in 2010. He's passionate about serving the society and is focused mainly on education. He has constructed two classrooms in Jafra, Sri Lanka. He runs various initiatives like supporting children education through World Vision, supporting a school for autism kids in Bangalore, and scholarship for students who stood first in 10th and plus 2 standard in his community. Through Metrohm India, the CSR funds have been used for developing villages and schools with roads, digital schools, sanitation facilities in the school, construction of classrooms for the school, providing fees to underprivileged students for continuing their education in schools and colleges, distribution of notebooks, school bags, and stationery, etc. A huge welcome, sir. It's great to have you. And I now request you to proceed with the session.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vikram, for inviting me today. I have a small presentation which I'd like to share, and we'll discuss about it. So I'll just share my screen. One minute. Oh. I have some issues. Is the screen visible? Hello?
Hello, it is visible, sir.
Visible?
Now, sir, now you open the PPT.
Yeah, it's there, right? Okay, fine. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity to talk about it. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, still your PPT
Yes.
is not visible. Your PPT is not visible. No, sir.
Okay, so shall I do it without PPT?
Sir, you just
Let me just see once again. Okay.
sir, you stop screen sharing.
Okay.
Again, click on the share screen.
Share screen. Yeah.
Go to applicable window.
Application window. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and click on
Yeah.
your PowerPoint
Yeah.
slideshow.
Yeah. Now can you see it?
Yeah. Now, sir, just wait 1 minute. Yeah. Now it is fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Say,
So
sir,
thanks a lot. Is that right? Hello.
yes. Yes, sir. Please. Yeah, it is fine.
Yes.
Now you
Yeah.
can continue.
So thanks a lot again, Vikram.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever I'm going to talk about, it's just my views, my opinion, my perceptions. It has got nothing to do with my organization. In fact, to be frank, as a matter of principle and policy, at Metrohm India, we decided that we will not terminate any of our employees during the pandemic. We will not force our employees to go on leave. We will not deduct, reduce, cut salaries of our employees, citing pandemic as a reason. At the same time, we decided we will not hire any new positions in 2020. This is as far as Metrohm India is concerned. For OMIC, we are still recruiting it. We further also decided that in case any of our employees get infected by COVID-19, we will ensure that he is treated at the company cost. Of course, we have insurance, but anything above that, we will still take care of it. We also decided that majority of the employees will work from home, and only people who need to come office will come to office. So basically for us, employee-centric was the main thing. We were fully focused on our employees. We wanted to ensure that, once the pandemic gets over, our employees are back in the organization at full stream. And terminating employees at this point of time, when job conditions are critical, would have been a nightmare. So that's the kind of a disclaimer. Now, we know for sure a lot of sectors have impacted. Few we know, few we never bothered about it. So, for example, tourism, we know that in tourism, hotel, resorts, and airlines have impacted. But we never bothered to look at it. The local taxi fellow who was surviving on the resort business, the local food outlets, the leisure sports which we used to have when we go for any picnics or holidays. Non-food retails, textiles, electronics, toys, construction, automobile. But then look at it, street vendors, they were surviving on daily wages kind of thing. They are lost. Logistics, nobody thinks about it, but there is a big job loss in logistics. An entire business has come to standstill. Another example where we probably don't even think about it, the exhibition business. It's a big business, and usually, you have this all exhibitions coming up in September, October, November, or December when there is a relatively lower temperatures in India. It's all gone. Education, look at it. We really don't know when the NEET will be organized, when JEE will be organized. And the biggest issue which we have seen is any organization which was highly leveraged, they have reduced their people like crazy. So this is a problem. But today, I'm not going to talk about what negative impact has happened. I'm born optimistic. I always look for a positive side. So I'll be talking more on the positive side. Now, COVID-19 is a kind of a reset switch. I don't think anybody in this generation knows, this kind of issues or something of this scale happening. And for me personally, I am born and brought up in Bombay. I have never seen local trains not functioning. And today, almost for 2 months or 3 months, the local trains are not working. It's unimaginable to believe Bombay without local trains is a dead city. Now, nobody has an experience of this kind. So it's impossible to plan, impossible to think. And I always say we should think on weekly basis now. There is no point in planning ahead 6 months and 1 year because we really don't know what's going to happen. We can always be thinking positively, but planning needs to be done on a weekly basis now. Now, it's a reset switch, but if we look back at our history and we try to take leaf out of history, in 1980, the influenza pandemic, once again, the entire world got reset. But subsequently, the growth in the economics was phenomenal. A lot of jobs were created, a lot of development happened, and it was a kind of unbelievable growth. And I just like to take leaf out of that and talk about it. So every problem is also an opportunity. So let's look at it, what opportunity we have. So I'm going to talk about positive outlook because negative, you all people have heard, a lot of discussions has happened. Let's see what positive can come out of it. Now, if you look at it, I'm sure if somebody does a study of number of deaths which happened in March, April, May, June, July 2019 versus 2020, you will be surprised to know that in 2020, number of deaths are comparatively lower as compared to 2019. And one of the reason is because of this lockdown or because of all these restrictions, our deaths due to accidents have considerably reduced. So if you look at it, in reality, number of deaths have come down considerably in India. Second thing which I look at it is because of over dependence on China. I mean, China was like a factory for the world. COVID-19 has thrown a big issue for all the companies. The entire supply chain got disrupted because China was closed practically for 2.5 months. And all of a sudden, all the companies have realized that they were too dependent on China. And everybody is now thinking with the China plus one manufacturing base. Now, when you talk about China plus one manufacturing base, some of the manufacturing will definitely come to India. And this will give us a good number of jobs. Already one big shoe manufacturing company has moved to Noida. A lot of Apple vendors are thinking of coming to India. So I'm sure number of jobs in next couple of years will start going up. So China plus one manufacturing base, this strategy of all the companies will help us in generating more jobs in India. Another thing which we have realized is just to keep things going, a lot of companies were forced to go for work from home. We have a lot of advantages. We got better productivity and better profitability. On the roads, there is less traffic, so the environment was getting cleaner. We had less train to travel, especially in big metro cities. The people who were traveling were reaching office faster. People who were operating from home were giving better productivity. And one of the reasons why India always had the issue why not too many multinationals were willing to come, that was the productivity. And we could see that there is an increase in productivity of Indian people now. One of the advantages of work from home is I can work from anywhere. So there's no need for me to go to big cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore. I can work from my home wherever I am. This will put less strain on our infrastructure, and the cities will be relatively open. Also, it will aid development of tier 2 and tier 3 cities because if I don't have to migrate to Mumbai or Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad or and if I stay in a small city but I can earn decently, I will spend money back in the city and ensure that the city is developed. And the best part is now the companies can hire a talent from anywhere they want because people who were reluctant to move, reluctant to get transferred, now they can work from their own city for the organization. So that's one of the best advantage from working from home. Now, as my previous presenter talked about, government trying to bring down dependencies of import from China. Now, if this thing takes a real shape, we will definitely have increased manufacturing activities, and that will directly impact number of jobs. So, and I'm sure government is seriously looking at it because a lot of governments in the world have seen that the dependence on China is too much and they need to do something. So in next few years' time, a lot of API manufacturing, key starting material manufacturing may start in India. And all the factories which we had closed down 10, 15 years back, they will reopen, and I'm sure number of jobs will increase. Okay. Uh, Another thing which government is planning to do is to curb non-essential items. Today, in fact, from China, surprisingly, we are importing things which were reserved for our small-scale industry or homemade industry, home industries. For example, incense sticks or agarbattis, toys, AC, fans, washing machines. Now, if government is able to stop these imports, then the local manufacturing will start. And I'm sure it will lead us to good number of jobs. So it all depends upon how government now works on this. And another classical example is disruption in supply chain, which has led to local manufacturing. And classical example is PPE kits. If you all remember, in the beginning of the pandemic, the PPE kits were coming from China. The quality was not that good. But subsequently, Indian manufacturers started manufacturing it. And today the situation is we are exporting PPE kits to the world. So that's another classical example how we can take advantage of the pandemic and try to create more opportunities, more jobs. For example, the ventilators. Maruti manufactured ventilators. That was something great. But one of the biggest opportunities out of this pandemic is going to be vaccine manufacturing. India has roughly 40 to 50% of vaccine manufacturing capacity of the world. So, in case any R&D organization or all the 30, 40 vaccines which are undergoing trials, any of them is successful for manufacturing, they have to come to India because India has a capacity which world needs. Now, this will lead to good amount of jobs because it's not only the vaccine. We need vials for vaccine. We need packing materials. There will be logistics involved because you need to send this vaccine from India to all over the world. And this will lead to good job creation. We are already moving to digital economy, so we can see a lot of new jobs will be created in this area. But only companies which will survive will be one which are built on solid P&L and balance sheets, and not only top line growth. So I think over a period of time, our looking at companies are going to change. We are going to look at P&L and balance sheet more, and then only the top line growth. There is a good amount of increase in sales of sanitizers and soaps, and this is adding to the chemical manufacturing capabilities, which will lead to once again the job creation. Online education. I mean, today all our kids are getting educations at home. No school is functioning, no college is functioning. Now, unfortunately, many of the teachers are not exposed to this new technology. So we will need upskilling of existing facts. I mean, we will need some upskilling. There will be a lot of infrastructure required, and I'm sure that will also create new jobs. So looks like the job creation is going to be there quite good as far as if you take this opportunity, the challenge. Now, as far as pharma sector is concerned, uh, this is what I'm expecting, that we will start more manufacturing of APIs and tea starting material. I remember once upon a time I was working for one of the pharma company, and that time we were the largest producer of amoxicillin in India, 1 ton per day. Today, I mean, very sad, but we are importing that from China. Now, we have capabilities, we have capacities. I think we need some government support to restart this. And if we are able to do that, I think we'll have a lot of job opportunities, not only in pharma, but the sectors which support pharma, like logistics, people like us who are supplying instruments to the laboratory, packaging material, and all kind of things. I'm sure the manufacturing capacity will come up, and India will become a pharmacy for world. Also, a lot of clinical trials will move to India, and that will give us a good amount of opportunities for increasing the jobs. So overall, right now, what I see, there will be a big plus for pharmaceutical sector. So if we take this as a challenge, I'm sure we will have a good amount of job creation in next couple of years. Thank you. Yeah, I'm done.
Over to Mini. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge and experience about the pharmaceutical industry and impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the pharmaceutical industry. Now this session is open for the audience. Audience can drop your question in comment box so we can rise to our speakers.
All right, we'll start with the Q&A section. We have a few questions. Okay, so one of the participants has asked, both the informal and formal have come to a virtual halt. Lakhs of truckers are held up across states, and most manufacturing firms have shut down. How will this impact our outcome and incomes?
Shall I take it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, at this moment, yes, if you look at it immediately after the shutdown, the job losses were huge. But over a period of time, now, as per the last CMI data, we are almost at the same level of unemployment, which we were there before pre-COVID. So gradually things will start coming up. I'm sure. A lot of organizations have started. If I talk about from a pharmaceutical point of view, since we directly cater to them, we see now gradually things are opening up. So it's a question of time. Another couple of months, things will start going back to normal. That's what I feel.
Another question is, could we think the Atmanirbhar package boosts the Indian economy and Indians towards self-reliance?
I would like to take up political questions. Somehow I'm occupying a place where I don't want to be talking on a political subject.
That's all right, sir. The another next question is the what is the impact of COVID-19 on the informal sector in India, and what are the challenges the labor are facing?
Yes, see, in informal sector was totally devastated. For them, it's the livelihood is gone totally. But now, if you look at it, for example, the daily wages, the construction especially. Since they don't have construction workers, the companies are paying them airfare to get them back. I don't think they would have ever thought they'll fly, but today companies are willing to fly them. Look at L&T or big builders who want them to come back. The work should go on. So, yes, we had our own sufferings, but things will gradually start coming back to normal. It's a question of time. And I think now, if you look at it, a lot of these workers have started coming back to these major cities, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. And because at the end of the day, in villages also, they don't have any source of income. So finally, you can see that reverse migration will start again.
Yes, hopefully the things will clear up.
Any other comment?
No, sir. I guess we have all answered all the questions pertaining to the subject. So, is there anything else you would like to mention or share with the audience and close the session with?
No. See, I am quite positive. Things will change. I mean, we need to give time. One thing is sure, we have to live with this pandemic. Even tomorrow the vaccine comes, it is impossible for anyone to get vaccinated in a short time, the entire population. We have 1.3 billion people. First, the manufacturing of vaccine is going to take time, and next is the actual application of vaccine. So we have to live with this virus now. We need to take all the precautions. But if we say that no, till the time everything clears out, we should stay at home, then probably we can't survive. So we need to take precautions and start work. That's what I can say.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing such valuable information with us. I now request Honorable Dr. V.K. Gupta, Director cum Principal, Dreams College of Pharmacy, to give the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to all of you. We have second day of International Web Conference OPFiCON 6 with the theme Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic on Job Sectors in India. We interacted with two dignitaries, Dr. Sanjay Agrawal ji, founder Pharma Consultants and Inventors, and Mr. Deepak Parab ji, CEO and MD Metrohm India Pvt Limited. Really, Dr. Agrawal ji awared us well regarding effect of coronavirus on pharmaceutical sector and the initiatives taken by the government. He explained well what the precautions should taken and many other aspects too. Mr. Deepak Parab ji awared us how the various sectors affected in corona pandemic. Mr. Parab explained well how we can change this negativity to positivity, challenges to the opportunity by creating many more jobs at the domestic and global perspective. I must appreciate both the luminaries for the way they handled the session. The session was very much informative. I express my special thanks from core of my heart to both of the eminent speakers for sparing time out of their busy schedule. I extend my thanks to Mr. Naresh Johandi, Chairman Dreams Group of Institutions, for granting permission to associate with OPF. I am very much thankful to all team members, Operant Pharmacy Federation, especially Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, founder and director, Ms. Meeni Chur, director content and creativity. When I see comment section, lot of interest is being expressed by the participants that always motivate us to conduct more such webinars. I extend my thanks to the participants too. Once again, I thank one and all. Thank you. Over to Ms. Meeni Chu.
Now I request Mr. Vikram Chaudhary to share his views and give his vote of thanks for today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Agrawal and Mr. Deepak Parab for sharing your knowledge and insights on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the job sector in India and what is the prospect of the clinical perspective. Dr. Sanjay Agrawal shared the clinical perspective to our audience. That was very useful for our audience, and Mr. Deepak Parab has shared the views and positivity and negativity of the COVID-19 pandemic on the impact on job sector as well as. So I think the session was very much informative for all the audience, and audiences have get lots of knowledge from this session. And I also very much thankful to both of the speakers who give the valuable time to our audience from his busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you everyone for joining this webinar. Over 2 minutes.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Tomorrow we have another webinar on the topic Drug Discovery and Advanced Research, scheduled at 5 p.m. We hope to see you again next time.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
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 Sir, one question here from Dr. Sanjay. Can any mask can prevent the COVID-19?
As such, there are variety of masks are available, medical and non-medical. And 955 is the most preventable mask. As such, the mask we can use and we can prepare at home also. It should have a 3 layers. So the size of the virus is already 500 microgram. Normally, it will not go with the 1 layer, but even though with the precaution, we always say use 3 layer mask. And when use the mask, it should be very proper. There are certain masks are available. If you see the mask should have a something is visible. When you use the mask, there is a it should remain tight. It should be tight from your nose. So when you take it, so it should be completely covered. There should not be any passage because the virus will go only from 2 places. Either it go from the nose or from the mouth. So with these 2 places are blocked, the chances of going or passing your oral cavity or nostrils inside your body. So these precautions are really required. And when you buy a mask, N95 is a very popular mask, an economical one. Another one, when you going for the claws, you can use the mask with have a 3 layers at least. When you going buying a mask, try that upper layer. It should be non-inflammable. It should not be inflamed. Unfortunately, you are nearby the fire, it should not be have a fire. So these precautions are be used, and while you take the mask, it should be tightened. There should not be any gap in your face. There should not be any uh, passage between the nose and oral cavity. So you can easily protect it from the coronavirus.
And one important question from Deepak Parab. What is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the migrant workers before and after the COVID-19? How the overcome the economic situation of the migrant workers?
See, if you look at it, after pandemic, their daily wages have gone up as compared to before pandemic, because workers are in short supply, so their daily wages have gone up. But of course, they had to, face the problems of without jobs. I mean, they have really gone through a worst period for almost a month or two. But now, if you look at, the average salary has gone up. People are looking forward to get more and more people, laborers. They are in short supply, so the demand has gone up.
Yeah, and sir, another question is, in this scenario, the freshers can unable to get job in pharma industries.
See, once again, this is, I mean, as I told you, it's a kind of a new normal. It's a total reset. It will take time before we realize, what's happening. Kind of, everybody is right now grappling in dark. Everybody is trying to reset the things, and as I told you, it will take some time before we reorganize ourselves. For example, if I talk about my organization, we decided that we will not recruit anyone. But that is as far as Metrohm India is concerned. But if I look at my other organization, Omic Research, we are recruiting people. So it's not that the opportunities will not be there. It will depend upon how we go about it. So I'm sure the freshers, they have to have some patience. It may take 6 months, but things will come back to normal.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for joining with us. And tomorrow we have another session on drug discovery and advanced research.
Okay, thank you all.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Thank you.
for Parent Pharmacy Federation, powered by researchers for emerging innovations. Hi, I'm Meeni Shiv, Director Content and Creativity of Parent Pharmacy Federation. If you're looking for publishing periodicals or journals related to the pharmaceutical research, or if you're seeking to bring together pharmaceutical researchers on a single platform to discuss various issues related to the pharmaceutical industry, then OPF is the right place for you. Parent Pharmacy Federation, or OPF, is the international professional body of pharmacists engaged in various facets of the profession of pharmacy. OPF is committed to promote the highest professional and ethical standards of society, establish the image of pharmacists as competent healthcare professionals, sensitize the community, government, and others on various professional issues, and support the education in all aspects. We are both research-based and community-based. We are an online-based scientific multidisciplinary community in the pharmaceutical sciences, biomedical, drug discovery, and life sciences fields. We deal with publishing research papers, theses, dissertations, abstracts, reports, monographs, case studies, and others on regular basis. You can also get information about the various opportunities available within the pharmaceutical industry by gaining insights from the pharmacists who represent a plethora of practice settings. We also provide our members with extensive scholarships and awards program content, recognizing members for involvement in the Federation, for leadership, academic success, and grassroots. Other than that, we advise to make the best use of the education opportunities that are specifically designed to enhance the knowledge by keeping it updated with the latest information and path of innovation. Other objectives with regards to information efficiency, research, and publish includes provision of information related to job openings and fellowships for pharmacy researchers, to spread the familiarity with the pharmacy profession and training and research in the general public by organizing different camps, seminars, conferences, meetings, courses, workshops, and so on, to make the research papers accessible to the individuals over the web, and to distribute the magazines and periodicals identified with community pharmacy, pharmacy education, research, and health sciences. So why should you choose OPF? OPF offers participation in workshops. We are highly indulged in participating in different workshops, seminars, and conferences. Also, we motivate our members in participating in such programs to enhance the skill sets. We also provide a number of membership benefits. After joining OPF, you can avail a wide range of membership benefits at cost-effective rates. Enroll today and get access to the genuine and quality-based journals. Further, we are also involved in specialized research studies. We at OPF are always ready to embrace and get involved in the logical and specialized research activities, along with investigations and trial on various fields of pharmaceutical and other allied sciences. Then, we also give and offer career options. OPF is always ready to help its members in choosing the best career options in the pharma and biomedical industry. You can get all genuine information related to the job openings and fellowships in the same. Our aim is to get connected with millions of readers, and our conferences bring together internationally renowned speakers and scientists to create exciting and memorable memories, filled with live interactions, world-class exhibitions, and poster presentations.